there's lots obviously going on this week, but the main thing that I feel like we need to readdress, because we've been talking about it for a long time, that we've been talking about the Will Smith thing forever, right? And it's kind of like the Johnny Depp thing. When you have like a clear case of, a vindication for the boys, you have to sort of, you have to make note of it.
It's a tough one.
But the Will Smith one, I think I'm officially, obviously the narrative sort of was that Will was like a bitch or whatever, and maybe there's some of that. But obviously now that all the cards are on the table, I think it's clear to say that she's a monster.
Yeah, he's like a battered man.
He's a battered man.
Yeah. I mean, that is prime example of like a guy who's just like an abused man.
And this is Will Smith.
Just because you're not the bigger person and like physically doesn't mean you can't be abused.
And I think that some of it is that just the girl, like you can do no wrong as a woman stuff has just hyped them up so much.
She's a bit of a succubus. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like by definition, I think.
All of her things are just, I'm going to be vulnerable, but throwing him under the bus. Yeah. And honestly, he's playing it pretty good right now because he's just not, the public's sort of realizing what a psychopath is, and he's just sort of staying out of it. Because you need to just take it to the finish line if everyone's on your team, you know what I mean?
I know. And this is what, she has a book coming out? Who the fuck is reading Jada's, like how lobotomized do you have to be reading her book right now?
Well, you know what the other thing
is?
And
why does she need a book? I guess she's like just, I don't know, that's what she does, right?
Well, that's how they make all their money. And you know what she's starting to forget a little bit? She's starting to think we're both famous. And it was like, yes, you're famous, but it's like Will Smith is Will Smith and you're some lady.
You're Will Smith's wife.
You're Will Smith's wife. Yeah, exactly.
You're Will Smith's bitch wife. Which is still something.
Jada, I'm just going to go through a few of the craziest ones that she's done. So the first thing, she's trying to paint herself as badass. So she's in her book, she keeps coming out with these excerpts. And by the way, Prince Harry did the same thing. These books and your press tours, because these Hollywood celebrity types, they really don't know what vulnerability is, and they also don't know how people see them.
Oh, so out of touch.
They're so out of touch.
It's a trope at that point, the out of touch Hollywood person.
You know what it would be like? It would be kind of as if you saw someone like, let's say, what would be a good example of a guy like maybe a Joe Rogan or something like that, or Bill Maher or something, right?
Sure.
And he released a book that was like a vulnerable autobiography, and it was just every girl he plowed. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
And in his mind, he's like, everyone's going to think I'm sick. And you go, no, everyone's going to not think that's sick.
No.
You just bragging for
it's like you humble
pages.
bragging. Yeah, exactly.
And they don't, you know what I mean? They're so out of touch. They've probably never been around anyone that tells them they're wrong about anything.
I wonder what kind of numbers these books do.
I think
what are we talking? Like, how many books is she selling?
Fucking sell a lot of books, man.
Dude, I'm going to be pretty disillusioned if Jada Pinkett goes and sells like 1 million books.
I think they're moving units, buddy. Because you know what the problem is? They got like the U2 format where they're in every airport.
Yeah, of course.
They're everywhere, my friend. They've even got these publicists. They're doing the articles where, by the way, they don't look good, and they've got the embedded link to buy the book in the article. Like these guys have got the system to sell books figured out.
Yeah, for sure. I forget that like all the chicks who are just into like fame culture and just like Kardashians. This is just like some offshoot of that.
Buddy,
shit.
Christmas starts coming up. Everyone buys their mom the Jada Pinkett. I'm telling. Once you're in the circuit of
what a fucking lump of coal that is right there. Holy shit. Oh, the Jada Smith book, huh? Thanks.
It is a lump of coal. The kids are bad. They get up Jada Pinkett Smith biography and they're stalking.
That's like the equivalent of fucking making someone smoke a whole carton of smokes or something. You do bad in school, you go, you're reading the Jada Pinkett Smith biography.
100%. That's a lump of coal. So she's doing that with her selling crack. First of all, right? Her whole thing is how much she loves Tupac because she
didn't sell crack.
She probably, exactly. She sold crack the way that like you've sold drugs before. You know what I mean?
I mean, she didn't even do crack, or she didn't sell crack.
But in her mind, she's painting herself as like, just so you know, I'm like from the streets. I married Tupac. I'm like a badass. And it's like I'm better. No, she's doing my video where it's like she's trying to do that. You guys don't have to do what I did, but I'm better now.
She went to like an art school.
Yeah. This is all phony baloney behavior.
I mean, there's one thing to be like, hey, the Tupac, this is documented. To just at this point in the game being like, hey, also, I haven't mentioned this until I was 55, but sold crack for a week.
Yeah.
You go, okay.
Okay,
You're
yeah.
like, yeah, it's like, you're not Jay-Z.
Yeah, you're dating some guy.
Like,
that has
Jay-Z's
some
been
crack
saying
in
that
but
forever,
you intermediated it between your friends.
Yeah, but you're also just like, Jay-Z at least has been saying was sold coke, like, since the beginning.
It's a little different, a lot different.
Yeah, then coming out now, I mean, it's just like, I don't believe it.
Me neither. Jada Pinkett Smith, here's one. Jada Pinkett Smith expresses concern for Will Smith's aging and need for care. She's revealed that she most likely won't be separated from her estranged husband forever. She recently shared her hopes that one day she'll move in because in his old age, he's going to need someone to take care of him.
Is this Scientology stuff? Like, what's going on?
That's a good point. Why
like,
is Scientology fucking taking her out?
In. That's the thing. Once you're in, you don't go out. There's repercussions. So I think they have to stay in. They probably,
Why isn't Scientology taking his
mediated, like, they go, okay,
this
you guys
is what
can
we're going with?
separate. Yeah, this is probably like a script from Scientology. But I mean, does he not have Will Smith have friends who you're like, yo, like, you should not be accepting this kind of like behavior? Like
100%.
for her to be like, he's aging and he's old.
Have you seen him in iRobot? This guy looks fucking 18, by the way, in his videos.
For sure. Even now.
By the way, you go, he's aging.
You got alopecia, bitch.
You're a 52-year-old woman.
Yeah.
He's a 55-year-old jacked superhero.
Yeah.
Or what did you call it? Not superhero. Action star.
Action star. Yeah. It's crazy. I can't believe like he's
like
just,
if you look at put it this way, when you see her with a young guy, it looks like his mother.
Yeah.
When you see Will with like a 30-year-old, if you saw Will Smith standing between a 30-year-old supermodel, you don't bat an eye.
No, it's totally normal. It's expected almost.
So he's going to need someone to take care of him. So she's, this is the kind of thing she's putting out there. She goes, Jada, who is currently not in a relationship with anyone, reflected on how she felt after the public blamed her in the wake of the Oscar slap incident. So she's painting the Oscar slap thing that she goes, the public blamed her. It was like, no, they were calling him, they blamed him after they found out that you were banging all these dudes in the way that it was all presented.
I know I've said this before. He must be gay. He must be. It's like the separation, the fact that like he slapped a guy. That's like a gay thing to do, is the slap over a woman. Like, it's just, I don't know. All this stuff is like, I don't know. She's saying it's not passing the smell test here.
It's not passing the smell test. That she's the victim. I mean, maybe the whole thing's just a work and we're morons. But it's
for what though? It's like
sell books.
I guess, but like, he's the breadwinner with the movies, and you're like, if he even starts, if his movie sales are affected 5%, that's more than any books she could ever sell. The other way, right? So you're like, if you're thinking of it as like the Smith as like a corporation, the family, you're like, this isn't helping.
None of this is, yeah.
I don't know.
Maybe he's just trying to get some of her own money into her pocket for when they finally can separate, because he's about to take $500 million from him.
I guess.
That's the part that he's probably just looking at that fucking, oof. Jada, who's not currently in a relationship, she says she's the victim of the slap. After everything that happened, the Will Smith slaps Chris Rock, and she goes, I'm the victim of this.
Chris Rock just got a joke at least.
I know. Jada, who is currently... Okay, she goes, the aftermath of the incident saw Jada take a lot of flack for Will's actions. Jada shared that it was ridiculous how far it went, especially because people had a false narrative that she cheated on Will. This is the part that really made me fucking bubbled me up, man. So she's saying that there was a false narrative going around that she cheated on Will. Huh. I'm just going to think for a second. Where did that false narrative come from? Oh, I don't know. Maybe the talk show you did for 6 months straight and the 9 fucking month press tour, and she made him come on the show.
Is she saying that
talk about her affair?
Is she saying that wasn't cheating? Like, is that the thing? She's like, that wasn't.
She's saying we were separated.
Yeah. So
well, it's like, why did people think that? Then you lied. This woman had Will Smith come on her show, Red Shoe Diaries or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And then they basically went through the whole thing, and she was talking about how when she had the entanglements, she's like, the media is a false narrative. Like, all of that was from your show's clips.
Yeah. Yeah. The whole thing is fucking...
No, you made him look like a bitch.
Yeah, that's all she does. She's like vindictive about it.
And now she's on another press
you
tour
would
doing
think
it more.
that he got caught like cheating with 20 different women.
Yeah, totally.
Like publicly, like
ones that she knows.
like a whole thing where she got publicly humiliated, being like, I was faithful to him, and then it turns out he was like all over the place cheating with me.
I know.
Like, none of that came out.
I know. Especially because people had a false narrative. You did a show talking about all the dudes that you banged because you weren't with them. I think that when we just look at human nature, when you look at the breadcrumbs, people need something to blame. Jada said in a Bombshell interview today. No, you were on a Will Smith is a bitch tour. And then people had enough of it. You know what I mean? He was the truth though is he was the bad guy, but everyone kind of the narrative was the true narrative, which is he was being bitched around for so long, and then this was him standing up for himself.
Right.
But he didn't stand up for himself. Punished him for so long. People were kind of like, that's the bad guy. Then they got over it.
If he stands up for himself, he needs to slap her, not Chris Rock.
Well, that's why the people were mad at Will too, and that's why it took us 2 years to forgive him.
All right. I don't know.
But there is a point where he's a battered woman.
That's how he's behaving.
Exactly, right? So at some point, it's like, you need to be back on his side.
Yeah.
You go, okay. At some point when the girl's like the girl and the guy in the big abusive relationship, you go, okay, well, you're not perfect either. But at some point, you just need to rescue them. Someone needs to rescue this guy.
Fuck these YouTubers boxing. We need to get the two of them boxing.
The winner fucking gets the haircut. Yeah.
They have the same haircut.
And then she goes on and on about how Tupac, with her relationship with Tupac, was so great, and how she just such a she's basically living in a gangster's paradise up until when she met Will. Tupac this, Tupac that.
Fucking Coolio.
And by the way, it kind of reminds me of like, obviously I've dated, kind of like party scene, club promoter, adjacent type girls.
Sure.
And it is a very specific type of girl that's always talking about some famous guy that she used to date a long time ago.
That's the worst.
Like, you know what I mean? Just going on about how, I was, dating the singer from All Time Low and she'll always bring it up.
Yeah.
Like those girls that have, some very famous connection, they'll never go through a full night without like mentioning the famous guy that they used to date.
It's their high watermark of their social life, probably.
Yeah, or like if they dated like a basketball player or something, like they'll bring it up nonstop. Those type of girls.
Yeah.
Oh, that was like when I had my fling with Riff Raff. It's like you didn't tell me you had a fling with Riff Raff. It's such you don't care because you're like, you're just some chick, like, you know what I mean? But you're just like in your mind, you're like rolling your eyes at these girls because they think that they're like slick with like trying to humble brag about some crappy celebrity that they dated or whatever. Yeah. But it's such a very, very specific type of girl that
guys become celebrities because chicks like that shit. That's how it works.
Well, yeah, exactly, right? Well, you come to celebrities, you go, that's what you get out of this. Like, you bang them, and then they can drop it in conversation forever. That's a very specific type of clout-chasing girl.
Like, you're like, some fucking... What was the dude from Swollen Members or whatever? You're like, I fucking... Mad Cow or some shit. You're like,
Mad Child.
Or Mad Child or whatever. You're like, I fuck Mad Child.
Exactly,
right. Like, good for him, good for you.
I fucked Vanilla Ice's back up to her roadie.
Yeah, you're all right.
But she has or some girl, just being like, I think I dated one girl, she'd bang Jay Baruchel, and she just slipped that in there every now and
then. Okay. Thanks for letting me know. You fucked all the Harlem Globetrotters, huh? They're actually not that famous, though. It's better than the Washington Generals.
It's such a specific type of human that brings that up all the time. So it's almost like triggering me that she won't stop talking about how her and Tupac had her thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's just uncalled for.
It's uncalled for. It's uncalled for. It's unconscionable. It's unconstitutional.
It's just fuck.
It's inevitable.
Let the man go.
It's irrevocable. It's irrevocable. It's irrestrainable.
I mean, what happens? What happens if he kills himself or something? Is that just she won?
You know what? I was thinking about that. And this is when a famous guy kills himself. This is how much men don't care about suicide. When a famous guy kills himself, no one even cares. They wear shirts. Epstein didn't kill himself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just because that's easier for their mind than admitting that this person was sad. How would you like it if you killed yourself and you tried to send a message and everyone's walking around with Tim didn't do it shirt?
Yeah, a whole fucking meme. That's a good point, Ryan.
Yeah, it's a billionaire who went through a hardship in life.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, it's tough for these rich people, I guess.
Jada Pinkett Smith says she knew she was pregnant within seconds of sleeping with Will Smith, and he was so pumped about it, and she cried all night long. Give me one reason. Give me a reason. Just one reason. Give me one reason why there is any possibility that while they're still in their 50s, this isn't a he's dead tell-all, for her to be going around saying, when we had a kid, Will was pumped and I was mortified. Because I'm so cool, and Will wanted me so bad that he wanted to lock me down, and I hated it. Eventually, I came to like him.
Dude, I'm sure. Do you think Will Smith thinks about, like, there must have been, like, whoever was the second choice? I wonder who that was.
His second choice?
Yeah, what kind of life that might have been.
Wasn't he married before?
I don't know, was he?
Yeah, I think so.
All right.
She is the second wife.
Oh, stick with the first one, then. That's what happens. Grass is always greener, everybody, but it isn't always.
Dude, she's literally saying that, and she goes, I'm not the bad guy here. It's like, why do I know the name August Ames? That wasn't that wasn't a leak. That was you telling me about it on your TV show.
What name was that, Ryan?
What's the guy's name? August. What's his name?
It wasn't that, Ryan.
What's the guy's
Enjoy the comment section, everybody.
Who's August Ames?
The porn star.
What was this guy's name? August something?
I don't know. Wasn't that, though.
Johnny, what's the guy's name?
Rest in peace, August.
Wasn't his name August? August Ames is the porn star that killed himself.
That killed herself, yeah. Legend.
Oh, why did they kill himself? Because they got trashed by people?
Yeah, she wouldn't do gay.
What? August Alsina.
Yeah, August Ames was the one that she wouldn't do gay porn, or she wouldn't fuck gay porn stars, or whatever, and then they bullied her and she killed herself.
Well, I'm sure that's Jada's fault too.
Probably.
Jada Pinkett, bitch, if you ask me.
Is this her first book though?
I don't know.
I want to because I didn't check it before this, but like, how many books did she must? I'm curious. If
I think they fucking crank them out, dude.
Oh yeah, she got a lot of books.
Oh, no, straight. They get these massive advances too, man. They're printing money with it.
And they're not even writing it. Like, she didn't write her own book.
That's even, but she's like telling the people the information. You go meet with them and you tell them all this stuff.
Yeah,
you go,
Will's a fucking bitch, and you're like, and the guy's like, really, Will Smith? You go, yeah. He's a fucking loser, bitch. He's got a fucking small dick. He can't get it up. He's a bad father. He's just a piece of shit. He's fucking cheap. He's stingy.
Preach.
All this stuff. You go, really, Will Smith? He goes, he's a bad actor. You go, bad actor. Come on, really? She goes, yeah, he's the worst actor. You go, he has like an Academy Award. Yeah, weak. He's short. Short. I mean, really? I mean, he's like tall. He goes, no, he's short. You go, all right.
A lot of people don't know that about him. It's a tell-all.
Where's lifts? You go, really? All right.
That's what she's doing. She's saying she's being vulnerable, but all her vulnerable stuff is that she's the best and Will Smith is a bitch.
Trashing him. You go, okay.
Well, it goes so crazy.
God damn it.